What is up, humans and mutants alike? I am Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. Krakoa has burned to the ground and left many people who would never pick up a Spider-Man comic to actually consider doing so. All praise Hickman, praise unto thee. He will live on in our hearts and souls as he continues fixing the Marvel Universe, one superhero at a time. But where does that leave us with the X-Men? When will we be able to brush off our Hellfire Gala attire and walk the red carpet once again? Today is not that day. Fortunately, as a godless, familyless heathen, I am left an empty shell of a man-child. The only thing I have in life are my memories of the past. What is this? Is this the second coming? The show that gave so many people inspiration in their youth is now the only thing keeping them from taking that plunge. No pressure, Marvel Animation. Let's dive into the show, because if I stop talking, the bad thoughts will come creeping in. The show starts with Roberto da Costa, also known as Sunspot, being taken by the Friends of Humanity. Who is Sunspot? He's an Afro-Brazilian. Sometimes he's a very white Afro-Brazilian, until fans complain. Who are the Friends of Humanity? You know the people complaining about this show? Pretty much them. They're using sentinel blasters. Mega Man would be proud. Storm and Bishop come in and begin their assault on the FOH. Who needs Viagra when you have Storm yelling wind in your ears? Cyclops comes in and does a sweet 90s callback that goes harder than my pod collection. The FOH happen to have a sentinel arm in their presence. They make waste to the anti-mutant team with ease. Wait, the show's art direction flows seamlessly and they storyboarded a proper fight scene? Huh. Americans who actually care about the art of animation didn't think that existed. Back at school, Remy is making beignets. Why are they so square? Who was in charge of drawing the square beignets? Scott wants everyone to be more of a role model for the students, but everyone thinks he is just being a dad boner. Morph pretends to be the dead professor and probably gives everyone a little bit of PTSD. Thanks, Morph. Jean is pregnant, but with which one? Probably one of the boring ones. Roberto wakes up and finds himself in Beast Lab. He was having a nightmare of washing dishes. Why would the better Tony Stark ever do dishes? They tell him to stay here for a few days until he gets the images of New Mutants out of his head. He's bored, so naturally Jubilee tries to kill him in the danger room. He isn't impressed. Oh no, Wolverine tries to kill him in the danger room. He is a little impressed. Scott looks at a picture of First Class. Where's Iceman? Jean wants Scott to give up the 9 to 5, but Scott is all about that grind set now that the professor is gone. Roberto runs off. Scott tries to play the role of daddy, but Logan ain't having it. They go and find Roberto hanging out in a club. Jubilee dances with Roberto and starts a fire hazard. The rest of the X-Men scare off some FOH members. Scott interrogates Skyrick. Hey, it's that guy that killed Charles. Looks a little different though. Did you dye your hair? He doesn't give any info away. Oh right, psychics exist in this world. Jean, do your thing. Jean uses Cerebro to get into his mind. Uh-oh, Jean is having a psychic master mold meltdown. She is able to find where Peter Dinklage is. They take off in the X-Jet. On their way, suddenly a sentinel tears through the ship and the X-Men plummet to Earth. Oh no, is everyone okay? Yeah, it's the first episode. What? They aren't going to pull a Morph a second time.
What about more?
Scott says the line. They run into Peter Dinklage. The most generic bad guy, good guy dialogue is exchanged, and I gotta say, I'm all for it. They engage in battle. The show makes you wonder what Marvel spent all their money on What If. I could tell you it wasn't the animation. Everyone plays around until the Omega level mutant comes in and takes care of business.
Ancient sands, heed my command.
Great, now I have to add sand to words that turn me on. Gambit charges Logan's claws. He bounces on Morph shaped as Blob and flies towards the Sentinel, chopping its head off. Oh my god, it's just like the good old times when Wolverine couldn't stab anyone with his claws or show any blood. Welcome back, Logan. I missed you, you piece of egg-sucking gutter trash. Back at the mansion, Jubilee tells Roberto the story of the first episode of X-Men. Hey wait, that's also this episode. You just soft rebooted me, I saw what you did there. The gang gets down on the courts. They prove that white men can jump. Jean and Scott tell them that they are leaving the mansion to try to raise their kid when Magneto comes in. He says this is mine now. He looks at Rogue and says you are mine now. What? A Ferris wheel begins falling apart. Magneto comes in saving humans and mutants alike. Aw, he's wearing the big dumb purple M. That means he's a good guy. Jean and Scott are concerned about Magneto, but Scott is like, no, the professor doesn't trust me. They meet with Magneto. He gave Calypso and the Morlocks a home on Genosha instead of constantly fighting with them. He's getting all superior Spider-Man up in here. No one trusts him. He talks trash and asks why Jean and Scott haven't left yet. It looks like they're staying. Magneto gets touchy-feely with Rogue. It's getting all Age of Apocalypse up in here. The military comes in to arrest Magneto. He threatens to give him a buzz cut, but he turns himself in. Outside of the court hearing, the FOH, Trumpers, and people with too much free time show up because of a Facebook invitation sent by a Russian bot to protest Magneto. Oh look, it's the shot. Time to orgasm. Magneto gives his defense when suddenly, oh no, the protesters are storming the government building. I love fiction. Logan goes to help the team when suddenly, Jean goes into labor. One of the protesters is the executioner. No, not like that. Yeah, that's it. Cyclops and the Executioner fight. Morph comes in, Lady Death stroking it up, and then he lays the big guns down with Colossus, and he finally ends it with my starter in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Is it too much to ask for someone to choke me while saying,
Do not think. Be silent. Heed my commands and you shall survive.
at the hospital, the doctor won't deliver the baby. He's a homophobic racist. Rogue touches the doctor. Rogue's the doctor now. Time to deliver a baby. I hope I don't touch it. Magneto is free and helps Storm in the government building. The two of them make a Faraday cage. Damn it, I don't have any bars on my phone anymore. Executioner comes in and attempts to fire on Magneto, but Storm takes the brunt of the attack. It seems that the weapon has taken Storm's power. This enrages Magneto and he takes the delegates to space. But he doesn't kill them. He calls them something that many good human beings get called every day.
Ingrate, sycophant, worm.
Back at the hospital, Jean gives birth to the boring one. Logan hangs back and does a little bit of peeping on a child in his throuple. Yeah, I heard what I said, I'm keeping it in. Magneto is pardoned and Genosha is given aid. Not only that, but Genosha will become part of the UN. Yeah, f*** you Taiwan and Kosovo. Mutants matter more than you. Scott feels somewhat safer now about Magneto. That night, Storm leaves, not feeling that she fits in any longer. Also, Magneto and Rogue touch. Remy is a cuck. Hey, why does his baby look 6 months old already? Hey, someone is knocking at the door. Who could it be? Oh no, it's Scott's other baby mama, Madeline Pryor. She cucked Scott. In the comics, she's currently cucking his brother Havoc. Not gonna read into that. Which one is the real Jean? Why does Wolverine show up in the intro naked? Right, Gaiman. Do you think the Shi'ar Empire is into foreplay or do you think they're just straight to the point? And screenshot that, put that into the porn folder for later. This intro is hornier than I remember. Jean is inside Jean's mind. Ah, rest in peace, Crazy Eddie. She is pushed out of her brain. Beast gets all up into Jean's genes to find out that Jean is actually the fake Jean. What?
Ergo, our Jean is a clone.
Don't you ergo me. Jean can't handle that she is the clone. She tries to get Scott on her side, but Scott lets his daddy Polo do all the talking. No one trusts this Jean. She misses Storm. She is alone with the baby when Sinister hacks the baby monitor. Time to recall that product. Bishop is anxious to get back to the future. Don't be too anxious. You might end up becoming a surrogate father. The entire situation with Cable in the future in the comics is an editorial nightmare. How does this show handle it?
Time isn't some history book, man. It's always writing. Flipping back a few pages, rewriting things, skipping forward.
This isn't Doctor Who. That isn't good enough. I will let Falcon take this one.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Beast mentions that this is Sinister because he left a signature on his work. What was his signature? Did he sign her genes? Did he draw a sketch? Maybe he carved a little diamond. Sinister hides in the shadows and says that he is daddy now. He wants Nathan. Jean realizes that she is not the real Jean. I guess it's time for a makeover. She burns her Marvel Girl outfit. It's a very blatant metaphor. She decides to go through her goth phase. Morph mentions that Rogue and Magneto are f***ing a lot and pisses off Gambit. Morph hits the shower. What do you think Morph's default genitals look like? Is it a dick? How big does he make it? Is he modest? Is it a vagina? Does he go full Barbie doll? I have so many questions. Oh no, it is Cronenberg Logan. Gambit walks in on Cronenberg Rogue and Magneto. Animation's go-to for body horror always seems to be to go full Cronenberg.
I wish we hadn't genetically ruined Cronenberg World beyond repair like we did, and turned everyone into regular, normal people just walking around.
Alright, this is a show for kids. Are Jubilee and Sunspot watching New Mutants? The entire mansion is under control of something sinister. Hey, it's Shard, remember her? Yeah, me neither. While everyone is dealing with Cronenberg's, Beast deals with a Miyazaki monster.
Gambit can never unsee that.
He totally masturbated to that Cronenberg, didn't he? Bishop wants Cyclops to charge him up. He shoots a load on his back and Bishop himself shoots a load. They're gonna need a cigarette after that. The real Jean comes in and puts the mansion back together with a Jean-gasm before passing out. Madeline Pryor comes in and says her name. Is that all it takes for some of you fans? Just a name drop? Magneto and Rogue come to help. They were too busy f***ing. Morph tells everyone about X-Men Animated Season 2 for the filthy casuals. Sinister took the baby. He wants to turn Nathan into a superhuman by throwing him into the super vaccination disease goo. Did that baby consent? What if he is an anti-vaxxer? The baby gets the disease goo all over it. Morph shows the team Sinister's hideout. They run into Madeline Pryor. Morph turns into everyone's favorite Russian. Sorry, Colossus. She turns Morph against the team. They go full limbo. Madeline proves that telekinesis beats magnetism. She takes one in the back from Cyclops. Why is this boner? Logan helps the real Jean remember who she is. Jean says her body is a wonderland and has a psychic battle with Madeline. Hey, this actually shows psychic battles in a unique and creative creative way outside of simply putting your hands on your head. It's nice when people try. Are you hearing me, Simon Kinberg? I never thought I would say this, but Psychic Gene Baby saves the day. We get a flashback to episode 1, but it is only episode 3. The power of being a mother wins. Madeline helps the team save the baby. Cyclops hits Sinister with his optic blast. See, this is pretty gnarly. You could do other body horror besides Cronenberg stuff. They free Nathan from the disease goo. Sinister makes his escape. The baby gets the techno-organic virus. Hey wait, where's the rest of the team? Beast doesn't know how to develop a cure. There was nothing they could do in their time, but there was something they could do in Bishop's time. Oops, Bishop is now a surrogate father. That's too much responsibility. Cyclops doesn't want to abandon his son like his father did to him. Yeah, but your dad is an awesome space pirate, and you are Daddy Cyclops, so it's kind of a win. Jean leaves a psychic voice message inside Nathan's head. He and Bishop head back to the Days of Future Past timeline. Sucks to be them. Madeline heads out on her own path. At least they didn't make Cyclops abandon Madeline after Jean returns like he did in the comics. Probably a good idea to gloss over that one. Meanwhile, Storm runs into Forge. This isn't Future Forge though, this is present day Forge. He wants to help Storm get her groove back. In the comics, he invents the gun used by Executioner, which will constantly be used against them. Will they ever learn? Cyclops in the intro is my reaction when someone says they like Teenie Howard's writing. Hey look, it's Mojo before he got on that Ozempic. Do you think that the X-Men are the type of people to sue those who infringe on their branding? Speaking of which, buy our coffee mugs, just like the show. Wow. I have no creativity and hide behind the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's Jubilee's birthday. She is 18. Those gross thoughts that have been in your head for 2 decades is now legal. Also, Jubilee was a vampire. There, I mentioned it. Shut up.
Oh, someone's daddy didn't get him a pony for his sweet 16th.
Uh-oh, Morph probably forgot that he spent his sweet 16 smelling his mother's ashes in a concentration camp. Oh wait, the animated show isn't allowed to mention the concentration camps. But I can. Morph's face when he realizes he made a faux pas. You guys should know by now that Mojo is very good at branding. This is on YouTubes. Also, Nintendo loves suing people, but I bet they won't ever go after Disney for this one. Cowards. The show has a good track record at hitting all the marks we saw in the original 90s show. But the cliche of the mysterious thing appearing in one's room and not questioning it and just using it needs to die faster than Magneto's parents in a gas chamber. Sunspot doesn't like video games. He is also very rich. They say correlation doesn't equal causation, but if you're watching this video, I can guarantee you don't have a diversified portfolio. It gets all Akira up in here. They are no longer in the mansion.
Do you really think everyone is focused on you?
Yes! This is what I tell myself every morning. They teleport using a payphone like in The Matrix. But this is 1997 and The Matrix doesn't come out for another 2 years in 1999. You were doing so good, Marvel. They go to Genosha. Is that Boba Fett?
Was that you, Hot Topic stalker?
Hot Topic in the 90s was still catering to the music crowd and hasn't become the emo haven this joke thinks it is. Jubilee has earrings that say Jubilee. Conceited much? Mojo shows up after the two stop becoming NPCs.
Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes.
He's lowering his risk. I respect that. Here's the thing, folks. The idea of the Mojoverse and the hyper-consumer world that it is trying to paint isn't cute and funny anymore, because this is now the real world, and it's just very sad. Oh snap, that was too self-deprecating. We don't do that in the 90s. Quick, listen to those sick chiptunes. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Mojo is moving into the video game space. Do you think he knows of Gamergate? At least he wasn't stupid enough to create a streaming service, right Disney? Jubilee gets assistance from a mysterious player. Oh no, Mojo realizes that Ozempic doesn't work if you literally feed off of ratings. I'm just a random scroll in the Mojoverse. I have the ability to shapeshift, but if I just play it cool, no one will notice me. Spiral is now working tech support in the Mojoverse. Sunspot and Jubilee talk at each other but not to each other. This show misses a really good opportunity for Magneto to say welcome to die.
Welcome to die.
She defeats Magneto. She sees an X, so naturally she thinks it's an extra life. Wait, it's actually an extra life? What the hell? They run into Old Lady Jubilee. It didn't sell as well as Old Man Logan. She's just a test program. She gives real Jubilee a life lesson. What's the most 90s way to get this across? Oh, I know. Take it away, Wayans brothers.
Message!
See, even Disney is telling you to stop playing video games, and they pander to everyone. Jubilee touches herself. She is able to defeat Mojo. They get teleported out of the game. The two make out. It's okay, she's 18, it's not creepy anymore. People somehow forget that children's episodic adventures used to be 15-minute chunks. But that won't stop you from sharing that SpongeBob meme, you know, that was broken up into 15-minute chunks. Forge makes dinner for Storm. He made chili. Bad call, Forge. Everyone is going to be farting up a storm soon. Pun intended.
Well, a friend of Charles Xavier is a friend of mine.
Forge is Tony Stark without having to try. Storm misses the wind. The best thing to do after eating chili is to go on a bumpy horse ride. Storm wind-splains to Forge. Oh my god, we get it, the wind. I want to see the story of Grillmaster Forge. Forge tells Storm to get inside the pod. It doesn't restore her powers. Oh no, Forge got a late night bowl of chili. That can't be good for you that late. Storm wants to know why he wants to help her. He tells her that the government stole his designs, and he was responsible for the anti-mutant tech that made Storm lose her powers. Storm is upset while Forge puts that on a pedestal. Out of all the people to put on a pedestal though, it's probably the best option. She says that she's more into Wakandans. Later that night she trips balls, but she is sober. It is the demon adversary. It's originally a walking metaphor for Forge's demons during the Vietnam War. Now it's a walking metaphor for Storm's inadequacies as a human. Sucks that we will have to wait 2 weeks to find out what happens here. One day a creepy pale man manipulates your genes. The next moment, a buff pale man is trying to create an apocalypse.
Boo!
Fuck you. You try making this episode funny. Her name is Patricia. Give her some respect. Trish is someone that doesn't leave the trailer park very often. Damn, the tension in this room is so strong you bummed out Logan and Morph on the courts that are just 50 feet away. Man, Bobby's life really went downhill in this universe. Kill it with fire! Does Slave Island still exist? We saw it last week in Sunspot's dream. I bet you forgot. Someone put Kid Omega's shit on a sign. Or did he steal it? Oops, my god, it's Nightcrawler. People go for the inflation joke here, but the writers are clearly making a 1997 Mac joke. Genosha is clearly the bespoke experience, no different than a Mac. They even use the apple as a metaphor. Wake up, sheeple. That mic is too far away to be picking up anything. Who hired this reporter? Remember last time when I said comics made Daddy Scott a dick? In this episode, we get a little bit of Dick Scott. Jean kisses Logan while Scott fails this interview. Wolverine is the daddy now. Beast blushes while boasting. Genosha has a council. Just go full Krakoa already.
Don't go filling this man's head with such notions.
What did she just say? Magneto casually equates himself to Moses. He wants to Game of Thrones Rogue. At least they aren't siblings. Jean and Scott are talking about their child. JK, it was actually Madeline Pryor. Scott was psychically cheating on Jean. Madeline's the baby mama. We get our first real Jean scream from Scott.
Jean!
Rogue tells Gambit that she's leaving him for Magneto. She tells Gambit about meeting Magneto. She conveniently leaves out the part where she stole Miss Marvel's powers and put her into a coma, and Rogue and the Professor locked up Carol in a mind prison. The X-Men are sometimes dicks. This mutant just came out of fountain water and probably smells like a soggy piece of shit. This government member who definitely isn't Mystique doesn't want Magneto to govern. Rogue and Magneto dance to a 90s jam. Ace of Base be damned. Speaking of Ace of Base, Madeline gets a message from Cable. She saw the sign and it opened up her eyes. And nasal passages. Hey look, someone found Marrow from the wanted posters earlier. Not that it's gonna matter soon. Cable comes toward Madeline. He calls out for his mommy. He doesn't want to go back to the future. It sucks there and he has a kid he has to take care of. It's too much responsibility. Suddenly, someone does a 9/11 on Genosha. It certainly wasn't this guy showing up in the past few episodes. Hopefully it isn't Cassandra Nova, and Disney starts the MCU synergy machine slowly tearing apart what makes this series so interesting. Everyone is dying. It is getting all ears for extinction up in here. Kurt does a Dobby and saves Magneto and Rogue. It is Wild Sentinels. They didn't get Caesar Milan's training on domesticating Sentinels. I hope we get to see the big one in South America, the one that looks like it's taking a dump. You know which one I'm talking about. Magneto knocks over the statues of Charles. It is a metaphor for Magneto not living up to Charles. Did this show finally address Magneto's past? I take back what I said 2 episodes ago about being cowards. Well played. He attacks the Wild Sentinels.
Leech knows Callisto will find us.
Leech is more optimistic than a fat girl flying economy. Gambit comes in and saves the Morlocks. He is taken out. Magneto comes in and protects the Morlocks. He prevents Rogue and Gambit from helping.
You hear me?
There's explosions, wind, screaming, and much more. I don't think he hears you, Rogue. Magneto has put himself in a mutant trolley problem. Do you push Leech out of your magnetic bubble to save the rest of the Morlocks, or do you die trying to save everyone? Magneto goes out trying to save everyone.
Keine Angst.
He speaks German to Leech. Leech's final thoughts were probably like, what did he say? I don't speak German. Oh no, this really burns. Rogue tries to take revenge, but Gambit does a Last Jedi better than Rian Johnson could ever imagine.
Remember it.
Such a great moment. At least half of you will climax while saying this phrase over the next month or so. Ah, the 90s, when you could actually watch the news. Damn it, Glob is still alive. Rogue touches Gambit's dead body. Be careful what you wish for. Too bad we will have to wait 2 weeks to find out what happens. Next week it's all about Storm. Previously on X-Men, Cyclops comes in and does a sweet 90s callback that goes harder than my pod collection. At the hospital, the doctor won't deliver the baby. He's a homophobic racist. Oh no, it is Cronenberg Logan. At least he wasn't stupid enough to create a streaming service, right Disney? Leech's final thoughts were probably like, what did he say? I don't speak German. Oh no, this really burns. Blue-skinned Kree stopped being racist towards the pink-skinned Kree just long enough to be racist towards the Shi'ar. Lee Pace is accusing it up. Deathbird is helping out the Imperial Guard. Hey, is that another Summers bastard? Man, being a space pirate sounds awesome. Just spreading your seed everywhere? I wish I were Corsair. What are we talking about? Deathbird steps on the elf from Lord of the Rings. I wish he would step on me like that. Lalandra Skypes in to tell him that Xavier is alive, but not before giving the filthy casuals a summary of past episodes with Jakin. Look at these Kirkland brand Corbinites. You think the Royal Shi'ar are wearing eyeliner? Their eyes can't all be perfectly shrouded in subterfuge. Also, feathers. You guys don't want to do another pass on this one? Okay. A primate and a bird stand together. Hey, this animated show used a word that goes outside the typical demographic of the MCU. This show is smorts. So, do the feathers hold up the helmet? Are the feathers that strong? Do they fold down and then bend back up? I have so many questions. 60 years of X-Men comics and Marvel still isn't asking the real questions. How do Shi'ar feathers work? Monkey person wants to go back to Earth while bird person wants to stay in Chandrilar. She is all about instilling the one truth while Charles is all about critical thinking.
Message!
What the hell is this green liquid? Adversary is a literal demon on Storm's shoulder while pus leaks out of Forge.
Sought refuge with this monotone family.
Yeah, white people suck. Don't mind me. I just learned a little bit of Eldritch magic from my ancestors. MBD. Pus. Dude, wipe away this queen's tears with your real hand, not your cold-ass metal hand. Back on Chandrilar, the psychic bird and monkey take the throne. Deathbird thinks Charles is Lalandra's pet, and he's kind of into it.
Not an entirely displeasing thought.
This show is kinky as hell. Deathbird comes in and says racist stuff to the monkey. She wants Lalandra to erase Charles' memories of Earth and the X-Men. Charles meets with Gladiator to talk about shitty art. The white man's burden goes over the purple man's head. He says Gladiator is a lot like Magneto. Have the two ever met? Charles lets Lalandra be his sugar mama. Back on Earth, Forge trips balls while they head out to the mountains. They have a conversation even though Forge is dying. Probably not the best time to do this. Time for Lalandra to wipe Xavier's mind.
Our blood mixed with his inferior freak fluids.
Everyone gets hung up on the Milky Way ghetto line, but inferior freak fluids would definitely make a better band name. Deathbird starts a coup. Didn't see that coming. Ow, you scratched this piece of metal that is protecting my legs that I can't feel. Why am I reacting to this? Charles takes the Shi'ar to school. Storm is crawling through a confined space. Oh no, that's one of her fears. Adversary cyberbullies Storm, but she ain't having any of it. She gets her powers back. It is all giant-sized up in this bitch. This is the best Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron sequel ever. Storm rubs goo on Forge's pus. It takes 3 seconds to heal. That was quick. Forge turns on the TV to find Genosha has been massacred. They hope it's fake news. Charles preaches idealism with no real action.
You've got to do better, Senator.
And all children of the atom.
Charles brings up a terrible comic everyone's trying to forget.
We were dancing, drinking wine, making love.
Who do you think was f***ing on Genosha? Was it Rogan Magneto?
My children of the atom!
He brought it up again. Stop it. Charles has to go back.
We have to go back!
Trask is working with Sinister. It seems they were the ones behind Genosha. I'm glad it isn't Cassandra Nova. Oh no, a funeral in the rain cliche. That is usually followed by everyone having a black umbrella cliche. Damn it. Ew, swamp people.
How could she not be here? He saved all of us.
Yeah, but you were running around with vampires during Fear itself. Or that time that Colossus was left at the altar and he died inside. Where were you then, Jubilee? Wolverine tells her that people grieve differently, but Nightcrawler comes in and says, nah, this bitch is about to rampage hard. Meanwhile, this bitch is about to rampage hard. Since the movies, is Ross obligated to be holding something like he's Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11? Or Brad Pitt in Moneyball? Or Brad Pitt in Seven? What I'm trying to say is Thunderbolt Ross is not Brad Pitt.
Intruder is an unhinged mutant from the swamp.
Yeah, but you'd still smash. This is already the best Hulk movie ever made. Suck it, Paramount. She's trying to find Gyrick and Boulevard Trask. She's done being the good guy. Big Daddy Senator Kelly has leveled up after supporting the mutants. He is now the president.
Sorry, son. Just, unfortunate optics.
This is all kind of f***ed up, but this is also a fantasy because a politician would never outright say this. We wished our politicians could have even this little amount of transparency in conversations. Genosha isn't going to get any aid. Cyclops realizes that Magneto was kind of right all these years. He misses Madeline. Jean is kind of okay with it now. It's a weird relationship. People who are mad about morph sexuality are losers, but what you should be focusing on is why does he make the personal choice to be bald? Out of all the people to survive M-Day, it happens to be Cloud Girl. I guess that is in the X-Men 97's future, but still, Cloud Girl. She doesn't want to live. Yeah, nihilism. Hank meets up with Trish. In the comics, he will tap that. Captain America sounds like they took every dorky dad in America and put their voices through an AI learning model, and this is the voice that it spits out. Captain America is such a tool for the American system that he probably has a Punisher tattoo. He tells her about OZT. I'm down with OZT. So Rogue also doesn't have to yield to Captain America's shield. That 60s Captain America song is bullshit. Jubilee trauma dumps on Sunspot, who ultimately just wanted to do drugs and party and somehow ended up being a part of a 9/11. Sunspot decides to come out to his parents. As Trish and Beast talk, it seems that most mutants are expressing that tolerance doesn't seem to work. Wait, is that the message here? Alright, I wasn't prepared to be a part of an insurgency this summer, but let's do this. Rogue finds Gyrick. She touches him and learns about Nimrod. I wish she would touch my Nimrod. Jean reads the minds of rats and is able to see clearly through their eyes even though they struggle to distinguish between red and green colors. Is she using her mutant brain to fill the gaps of the rats' memories and add color? I want more answers about what is going on with the rats. She is able to sense a telepath. They pull Emma Frost out of the rubble. She is in her diamond form.
Perhaps a dormant mutation triggered by duress?
Thanks for spelling it out, Beast. You would think that his tears would vaporize instantly from the lasers.
He didn't say it'd be a mutant massacre.
Hey, Trask says the thing.
Come to the UN Peace Legion in Madripoor.
That entire sentence is an oxymoron. Did Wolverine go snick just to make a quip? Meanwhile, Sunspot comes out to his mother, but she already knew he was a mutant. However, because they are rich, they have to keep it secret to appease the board. I'm sorry, son, the board members have spoken and they say your feelings. Rogue wakes up after a murder bender. Did she just black out and go on a rampage? I think the government might be right about these mutants. She wakes up to find Nightcrawler.
We all grieve in our own way.
Yeah, some people go on a murder bender to grieve. No big deal. Hey guys, wanna buy some Krakoan pollen? No hangovers, yo. Meanwhile, Bastion just walks in and suffocates Gyrick to the sound of some sweet 50s bops. I like that they decide to have this 2-second moment of everyone just hanging out in an elevator. It's even awkward for mutants. They break into the Madripoor building to find Trask. He thinks he's Oppenheimer. Rogue kills Trask, but he is alive and has become a human sentinel. Hey look, action doesn't have to be 2 light beams clashing, and mutants saving people from falling buildings can be equally exciting. Scarlett Johansson's stunt double can learn a thing or two from this. Aw, he cares about his best buddy. Everyone is going down, but Cable comes in and saves the day. They realize that he is Nathan. Finally.
You're not her.
Damn, that is savage. And I am all here for this summer's family drama. Meanwhile, Bastion is meeting with Sinister.
You and the villains of old have been failing since '92 to squash these pests.
Someone didn't read the comics. Bastion is spying on Shi'ar. He goes and puts some sweet bops on again. He is doing a Patrick Bateman to Magneto, who is still alive. This is some weak-ass shaving animation. Are you going out on some weak-ass shaving animation? Fine. Cable, just because you have laser guns doesn't make this any less white trash.
I sent Nathan away to give him the best possible future, and it was so horrible he's come back to stop it.
Oh shit, I didn't even have to write the jokes anymore. Thanks, Scott. That big mentally unstable time bandit with white hair needs his daddy. He tells them about Bastion and how he built a utopia off the back of mutant slave labor. This is just like the future Apple wants to create. No one is going to buy those headsets. Cable can't go back to stop Mutant 9/11, but he won't shut up about it like he's Marky Mark with no Funky Bunch. Bastion makes it look like mutants set everything up. The mainstream media are 9/11 deniers in this universe. Uh-oh.
I remember him kicking inside me.
Not shying away from the hard stuff. Nice. Sinister's using Bastion. He wants to get all up in those genes. Also, if Magneto was 14 during the Holocaust and is now 1997, then he is 76 years old. Dude is almost 70 and is rocking gutters. Also, everything in the X-Men universe is an X. Valerie Cooper realizes in the moment that she might be a Nazi. Whoops, don't you just hate it when you accidentally oppress the Jewish race? Silly her. Beast meets with Trish.
A good doctor's been hoisted by his own petard.
I don't think you want to put yourself in the same camp as an autistic doctor. The Summers family goes to Bastion's childhood home. In this issue of Stark Expo Weekly, Arno Stark f***s Rosie the robot. Also, they missed a good opportunity to put boobs on this calculator. Bastion's daddy got infected with Sentinel goop and showed his Nimrod, if you know what I mean. That's how he was born. Could you imagine having a Sentinel voice in your head? It doesn't even matter if the voice is telling you to be a nice person. If it's the Sentinel voice, you would still go insane. I don't blame Bastion, he's just trying to get the voices out of his head.
Because when your skin's not in the game, apathy's your answer.
I don't know, Bastion, Magneto's skin is all over that game. I'm talking full lemon party up in this bitch. What are we talking about? Oh snap, it's Doom. I love when an iconic character is introduced through a Skype call. Zack Snyder thought he was smart with an email. He never could have thought of a Skype call. Zemo, do the dance. That is all the character amounts to these days. Bastion tells Valerie Cooper about his plans to turn humans into Sentinels. He calls it Operation Zero Tolerance. Wait, Valerie is wearing the same clothing as Bastion. He does seem like the type of guy who has 20 of the same shirt. You aren't Steve Jobs. Back at home, oh no, Bastion's mommy is a Sentinel. Black doesn't work on Jubilee unless she's a vampire, and even then it doesn't really work. I don't care what the gays say. They aren't always right when it comes to fashion. Oh no, Sunspot's butler is a Sentinel. Oh no, Trish is a Sentinel. Someone needs to talk to Hank about his taste in...
Gotta talk to Hank about his taste in women.
Damn it, Logan. So does Morph also get the powers of Cyttorak when they morph into Juggernaut? Jubilee and Sunspot bail. She totally stole that outfit.
I am totally done with malls!
Give it another 5 years or so, Jubilee. All of America will be done with malls. Ultra racism activated. Wolverine may still not be able to slice humans in half with his claws in this show, but at least they gave human sentinels oil gushing out to simulate blood. But at that point, what are we even doing here? Just show blood. I definitely seen a porn that started like this. I have no joke here. Just seeing Nightcrawler with his swords is perfect. Now give him the beard, you cowards. This is beautiful seeing Logan's POV when Kurt teleports them. Solid art direction all around. In the 60s, the SR-71 Blackbird sold for $33 million, which is around $250 million in today's money. Since this is an upgraded version of the Blackbird, we can assume this is somewhere closer to $1 billion. They just went through around $2 billion in this season in jets alone. Where is all this money coming from?
Nathan, get in the back!
Quit bossing me around.
Aw, he's a big baby. Everyone, quick, get in the Porsche. His license plate says Slim. Remember when Cyclops was Slim Summers? A reminder that not everything Stan Lee made was great, and the X-Men legacy really is a product of Chris Claremont.
You don't screw with the Summers.
Summers Family Adventure, let's go! Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, you ruined the Porsche. This is why people hate religion. Look at these literal party crashers. Valerie Cooper lets Magneto free.
I was born this way.
Did Bastion go into the future and listen to Lady Gaga? What a trendsetter. Magneto makes the world shake. Oh snap, it's 90s Spider-Man. Remember when they did Madam Web better than Madam Web? Magneto isn't messing around anymore. Suddenly, the professor comes crashing in. Xavier couldn't even make it a season without everyone else f***ing up. He says the thing.
To me, my X-Men.
Aw, Xavier misses his bird person. I don't know why, but this shot looks like it was made with Flash animation. Now I just miss Flash. The world could have been a better place if Flash was still around. All is about to be destroyed, but now is a good time to work out your daddy issues, Cyclops. Sure.
No matter what, I'll always end up here.
Look at codependent Scott. Although I am hoping this leads into his own X-Men faction, which leads into Avengers vs. X-Men. Scott totally left the professor hanging. In the 90s, that is considered the rudest thing imaginable. That is a low 5, though. Those are always sketchy. You never want to be the one that is too slow. I believe the comics once described Nightcrawler's bamfs as smelling like sulfur. Sulfur has the smell of rotten eggs. Kurt is just dropping egg farts everywhere. After this moment of happiness Jean has when seeing Storm, and this moment in the comics when she was resurrected during the Krakoan era, it is clear these two have Jean. Storm and the gang head back to the mansion. Beast gets a science boner over Forge's leg. He takes a look at those sick quads. Why is Rogue looking so sketch during this briefing? Even while Sunspot is talking shit to the professor in his X-Men onesie, she is still looking sketch. Forge and Beast want to take care of Bastion using the David Carradine approach, but Storm isn't having any of it.
Knew our lives are about what bits of us we leave behind.
Then Remy left behind a lot of gambling debt. Magneto does Magneto's version of keying their ex-lover's car. Charles is trying to be an Indian giver. There are no take-backsies. Is Indian giver still used in 2024? Am I racist? It is still technically the 90s, so I have a few years before I get me too'd for using the word Indian giver. Leech is getting a lot of play in this season. He's like the Tiny Tim of mutants.
Do not turn your back on family.
Bitch, what? Are you being serious right now? Where were you, Storm, during Genosha? Huh?
You were gone, gal.
Seeing Asteroid M just casually slide off the screen while Charles is sad as gold. Look at all the expensive equipment for the X-Men to destroy. Wait, is that the 90s Toy Biz mutant cycle?
She's
not my mother.
She's not my mommy!
What'd you expect? Black leather?
I know everyone likes his jab at the original X-Men movie, but Bryan Singer touches little boys. He is already owning himself. Good news, Kelly. You are going to be in the new season of X-Men, and you are even going to be the president. Bad news. You'll only show up in holograms and astral projections. One thing I was nervous about with this new X-Men reboot is that it was going to dwell and indulge in the 90s. I'm glad they are just using it as a starting point to keep moving forward. Getting the X-Men out of their Jim Lee costumes is quite a bold move. Black still looks terrible on Jubilee. Yeah, everyone loves Claremont Avenue. Nobody understands why a white guy is named after a street in Brazil, but people party hard on Claremont Avenue. Why did they make Morph look like a dangly, smooth-shaven ballsack in this shot? It didn't work in Dune either. The Harkonnens just look like balls. Jean doesn't have superhuman strength. That had to hurt. What smells like rotten eggs? I like that everyone begins fighting and Xavier just rolls on in with his wheelchair. Aw, look at this no-stakes battle between these two.
Shut
up.
The professor doesn't shut up and continues talking to Scott in his mind. Magneto was right. Bastion tells Morph that his Sinister cosplay is shit. Well, there goes another billion-dollar plane. Cable actually uses his psychic powers. I guess they are only using his psychic powers to ward off the techno-organic virus when it's convenient to the plot. Oh hey look, Wolverine actually got to stab an actual human with blood. Don't worry, all you have to do is become a Horseman of Death for Apocalypse and everything will be okay. The professor plays the greatest hits with Magneto.
Welcome to your mind, Magnus.
This is exactly what is on repeat in my brain until the ADHD medications kick in.
This is a violation.
It is brain rape. Say it like it is, Magnus. Kiss. I am Yashida. I am stoic and I look ominous. That is all I do this entire season. It's better than what Captain America and Iron Man did. Give us a Daredevil cartoon, you cowards. I just want to use this opportunity to say that Theo James, as Bastion, is killing it. But don't forget, he is also the Sentinel voice as well. Hank! Maybe Bastion just saw the future and knew that Beast was going to become a dick.
I didn't ask for this either. To be born with this programming.
I didn't ask to be born. Leave me alone. Bastion chokes Storm. I wasn't prepared to be turned on so early in the episode. Hey look, it's Cloak and Dagger. Cloak is all about taking Dagger to a dark place. Typical men behavior. Puck? Puck? Are you kidding me? You give me Puck before you give me Dupe? I better see Dupe in season 2, damn it.
200 times.
Cable is trying to be Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow. The Phoenix rises once again. Yay.
The Phoenix Force is gone now.
Well, that is convenient. He has come to terms with his clone mommy.
I could have used sleighs, camps, or death marches.
Nah, you couldn't, because this is still a kid's show and you are lucky to even get away with saying that. Which sounds like a negative, but it's actually a positive. Look, he's doing the thing from the thing. Magneto and Xavier are dead weight while they have their mind battle.
Are you alright?
What? I got psychic water in my ears. I can't hear you. Can you speak up?
Don't you dare break her heart.
A reminder that this is a thriving throuple for all of you deniers on Twitter. Sunspot is finally free of his whitewashing. I love seeing Captain America in his rightful position as a hero who does nothing. Yeah, screw my children's faces. Douse them in subterfuge. I only got Rogue on my mind. This is the greatest friendship in comics and they really nailed it. Now make them kiss. That sounds like it's painful on his little two toes.
Optic blast! You'll never hurt my family again!
Yes, Daddy, preach.
They're having babies.
They be fucking. Psst. Cap, you think we should do something? Tony, I am doing exactly what I need to do right now. Nothing? That's right, nothing. Oh snap, too bad Morph didn't think to become Mr. Fantastic earlier. He could have stopped Magneto with the power of wood.
I made it out of wood, specially to fool you. What?
You guys are about to be the biggest hit since the Ice Age.
You're going to die. Lols. Skull emoji.
Perhaps if everyone on the jet.
More people need to start just cutting off Beast like Scott did. Why is she still wearing her Bastion outfit? Cable says goodbye to his daddy and his clone mommy. Wait, you are already psychically communicating with him. Why do you have to use your psychic powers within your psychic powers?
Optic blast!
We know this is fiction because the entirety of the UN showed up to watch this. If a world-ending event was happening, half the people would be gone. Wait. You're telling me that Peter Parker found Mary Jane off-screen? I don't know about you, but I've been curious for 30 years about where the hell she's been. Someone better give me lore soon on how this happened. Also, the way Flash just walks here makes it seem like he is Peter and MJ's adopted son.
She can't say it, but I can.
I love you, Logan.
I love how much people are in denial over Twitter on this, ignoring the canon event that is the Gene Scott Logan throuple. You think a 200-year-old man isn't going to get bored of fucking women? David Bowie got bored in his 20s and started fucking anything. Also, people forget that unrequited and one-sided love occurs in life. People are broken. Forge just said,
The asteroid's reaching terminal velocity.
Which means Beast should be floating right now. Charles gets Magneto's groove back. He tells him to remember his name. It would be darkly comedic if Magnus just said the barcode number from when he was in his concentration camp days, just making it super awkward. You are in each other's minds. You can't run away from that awkwardness. Magneto time displaces the team that was on Asteroid M. Okay, I got this. Colossus is in Russia building a house and getting his mind off the fact that Kitty left him at the altar. Boom. Done. Dust. If I was dust, I would just be a pile of sand laying low in the Sahara. Boom. Done. Ileana. Limbo. Boom. Done. Exodus. Praying somewhere probably. Boom. Done. Kitty. Doing some ninja shit probably. Boom. Done. Iceman. No, he died in Genosha, remember? He got that huge downgrade and everything. Boom. Done. Havoc. Getting cucked by Madeline Pryor even though she's dead. How did he make that happen? I don't know. Boom, done. Emma Frost. On a boat looking fabulous, of course. Boom, solved. Half the team finds the Alpha, while the other finds the Omega. Scott and Jean meets Ascani. They be talking about Rachel Summers. Oh no, another time-displaced Summers child from the Days of Future Past timeline. Now we just need to get Hope and the gang will be all here. Truly, a Summers family miracle. Apocalypse is ready to get his 4 horsemen back together. I guess we know how Logan and Gambit will return. Thanks for watching. We have a lot of stuff coming out of the stuff. But that will do it for now, mutants and humans alike. Remember, the robots will kill you, so live your life.